What's up, folks? This is Josh back here. It's that time of the week for another Royal Rumble review. I was kind of cautious about doing these Royal Rumble reviews because, like, the first couple that I did, I didn't get that many views, but on 91 and 92, I got a pretty good amount of views. But today, we're going to keep this thing going. Today we're doing Royal Rumble 1993. This was held on January 24th, 1993 in Sacramento, California at the Arco Arena. This is the 6th annual Royal Rumble. Before I get into the full review of this Royal Rumble, this Royal Rumble really was really the last one that had the golden era wrestlers in it, and we're starting to see some of the newer generation wrestlers at the same time. This was still a decent event, but the Royal Rumble match itself had went down from previous years. I mean, 91 and 92 were great Royal Rumbles, but 93 definitely didn't live up to that, but it was still a solid Rumble. But let's get on in to the Royal Rumble review of 1993. Not a whole lot of, hardly no promos on this event whatsoever. But when we open up the show, we go straight to Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan really is like excited about because he's going to bring Lex Luger out. Lex Luger makes his WWF debut. We'll get to that here in a little later, but they just pretty much talk about the matches on the card, and we get straight to action on this one. We open up with a great match, not a great match, a good match. The Beverly Brothers and the Steiner Brothers open up the show. This will be the Steiner Brothers Royal Rumble debut. This was a good tag team match. Rick Steiner hardly didn't do anything in this match. Scott Steiner pretty much just took over. They would go back and forth until the final spot of the match. The Beverly Brothers have, up on the shoulders. They try to do the clothesline and they miss. Scott Steiner hits them with the Frankensteiner. And 1, 2, 3, it's over. Man, but the Steiner Brothers are a great tag team. One of my favorite tag teams of all time. This was a good match to open up the show. To this point, in 1993, every year, this is the 6th annual Royal Rumble, and every year they open up with a tag match. This one didn't let down either. I gave it 3 stars. Very good match, I'll have to say. Probably the Beverly Brothers' best match of their career, honestly, that I've seen. Then we go back to Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, and then we go through the history of the Rockers. We talk about how great the Rockers were, the tag team, and then how they were having problems, and then they were in the barbershop. Everybody thought, they had crushed their beef, and then bam, Shawn Michaels hits him with the Sweet Chin Music, throws him through a window. They're building up this match. And then on WWF Superstar, Sherry's holding the mirror for Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels looks to the side, and then when he looks back, Marty Jannetty's behind him in the mirror. Jannetty beats the shit out of Michaels. Jannetty picks up the mirror to hit Shawn Michaels with it, and at that time, Shawn Michaels would pull Sherry, Sensational Sherry, in front, and Jannetty would pop the mirror right over her dome, and she would lay there unconscious. No blood, though. I would think if you were going to get hit with a mirror, you would be bleeding everywhere, but just my thoughts. Then we go to the match. We have the Intercontinental title match between Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels versus the challenger Marty Jannetty. I thought this match was very good. I gave it 3.5 stars. Before I go into match details, I've seen on shoot interviews where Vince wasn't happy with this match because Shawn Michaels told Vince that Marty Jannetty was drunk and Marty Jannetty would get fired there right after, before he was rehired. But I thought this match was really good. There's a spot in the match where Marty Jannetty actually separates his shoulder. You can see it. His shoulder's out of place. They go back and forth. Decent match. I thought both of these guys were great wrestlers. I just thought maybe that Shawn might, at that time, not now, but at Shawn Michaels' time in that career, was all about himself. And Marty Jannetty had demons that he could never control. But that don't matter. What we're talking about here is this match. The ending spot in this match, Sherri gets in the ring and is going to hit Shawn Michaels with her high heel. Instead, she hits Jannetty. 1, 2, 3. Shawn Michaels gets the win. We go to the back area. Mean Gene's trying to interview Sherri. She's going nuts, throwing shit everywhere. Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty continue to go at it, and then they cut it off. And we go back to Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan again. And then we have a match between two big boys, Bam Bam Bigelow and Big Boss Man. This would be Bam Bam Bigelow's Royal Rumble debut. As you can see already, we've had a lot of different... we've already had the Steiner brothers make their debut, and Bam Bam Bigelow make his Royal Rumble debut. We're seeing new wrestlers because some of the other guys are no longer with the company. But we have Bigelow and Boss Man. Very, very slow-paced match. Bigelow picked up the win. I thought this match could have been a lot better. I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. Not taking nothing away from either one of them because I'm fans of both of those guys. But the match just had something missing in it, and can't put my finger on it, but it just wasn't there. And I believe this was Boss Man's last Rumble till like 98, 99. He would leave and go to WCW after this. Then we get a few promos, okay? We get Owen Hart's promo. He is, this is on Superstars. He's talking to Raymond Rougeau. If you remember him from the Rougeau brothers, he had an injury and became announcer for WWF. He is interviewing Owen Hart, and Razor Ramon just comes out the side and clotheslines him. You know, it's really actually hilarious when you watch it, the way Razor Ramon's stopping Owen. And then we have the Razor Ramon promo. He's at the Kings game, and they're interviewing him. He's like, I got gold around my fingers. I got gold around my neck. And tomorrow, Hitman, I'm going to have your gold around my waist. This was also Razor Ramon's Royal Rumble debut. And it was Bret Hart's debut as the champion. These two had an amazing match. It wasn't as long as I liked it to be, but it was a very good match. I mean, I gave it 4.5 stars. It was, to me personally, it was the best thing about Royal Rumble '93 was Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon. Bret Hart would pick up the win with a sharpshooter. Quality match. Wish I could have seen more matches between these two guys because it was just magic when these two guys would work. If you remember correctly, when Razor Ramon was in the WWF, he was one of the best wrestlers ever there. In my opinion, his best work was when he was in the WWF before he went to the NWO with WCW. Then we go to the side, like they have the entrance, and we go to the side there, and we have Bobby Heenan. And he unveils the Narcissus Lex Luger. This is really an uncomfortable segment for me as Lex Luger is slowly taking off his cape and flexing his muscles and all of that. Bobby Heenan said that he had brought Lex Luger in to take care of Mr. Perfect, this would build up the feud. for WrestleMania 9 between Lex Luger and Mr. Perfect. So that's why they brought in Lex Luger, supposedly. If you remember correctly, he was with the WBF, the bodybuilding deal that Vince was going to take off with, but never made it. Then we go to the Royal Rumble match, 1993. I thought this match really lacked some talent in it. It was almost kind of like all the guys that were in the Rumbles before were fading out. Does that make sense? We had newer guys showing up, except for Bob Backlund. Let's go through the entrance. Number one, we have Ric Flair, who won the '92 Rumble. We have Bob Backlund making his Royal Rumble debut. He was 43 at the time. He had been out of WWF for like 10 years and came back. And he was in the Rumble for like 55 minutes, an hour, something ridiculous. Papa Shango, his Royal Rumble debut. We had the $1 Million Man. We had Brian Knobbs. Now, if you remember when I talked about 92 and 91, they had Knobbs, 92 they had Sags. But in 93, they finally decided to put both the Nasty Boys in the Royal Rumble. We had Virgil, Jerry Lawler. I believe it was Virgil's last Rumble. He might have been 94. I'm not really sure on that. Lawler. We had Max Moon, who was Conan, K-Dog from NWO. Tenryu, he's from Japan. Mr. Perfect would come in at 10, and him and Flair would battle. If you remember, this feud had been going on since Perfect left Heenan and Flair. And the next night on Raw, they had a loser leaves town match where Mr. Perfect beat Ric Flair, and that was Ric Flair's last WWF match until the 2000s or something crazy. We had Skinner, Coco Beware, Samu of the Head Shrinkers, his Royal Rumble debut, Berserker, Undertaker, and Terry Taylor came back, not as the Red Rooster, but as terrific Terry Taylor. Now, this is a spot where Undertaker eliminates everybody. He eliminates everybody in the ring, and then we see L.A. Gante coming on down to the ring, dressed up as Giant Gonzalez in whatever outfit. Who picked this outfit out, I'll never know. It looked like a onesie for a gigantic baby. Is the best way I can describe that for you. He would hurt Undertaker and eliminate Undertaker. Then we would have a Damien Demento. He was just a jobber in the WWF at the time. IRS, his debut. Tatanka's debut. Sags, Typhoon, Fatu, his Royal Rumble debut. Earthquake, his debut. Earthquake would actually eliminate Typhoon. Carlos Colon. I guess they just ran out of guys and had to call him up from Puerto Rico. I don't know. Because I don't really remember him during this time of 1993 wrestling a whole lot of matches for the WWF. We had Tito Santana, Rick the Model Martel, Yokozuna, Owen Hart, Repo Man, and Macho Man. We all know Yokozuna would go on to win this. Yeah. I would say average Royal Rumble. I would say better than 88. Not as good as 89 in that area. But I still went ahead and gave it 8 stars out of 10. We've seen some feuds build up for WrestleMania 9 out of this. For example, we would see, let's see here, we would see Bret Hart and Yokozuna. They would meet at WrestleMania 9. Mr. Perfect and Lex Luger. Interesting side note, Hogan wasn't at this Rumble, but he would be at WrestleMania 9. I don't know if that was during the steroid trial or what. This would be Ric Flair's last Royal Rumble. and Million Dollar Man's last Royal Rumble. Lots of guys. I just felt like they were missing talent in this Rumble, and that's why I gave it an 8. I couldn't give it a 9. I couldn't give it a 10 because it just lacked stuff. You know, I mean, honestly, I enjoyed. You might think I'm crazy for this, but I enjoyed the matches before the Royal Rumble more than I did that Royal Rumble. But it's still a good show. If you get time, go back and watch it. It's Yokozuna hadn't been with the company that long. And I had also heard a rumor to this not that long ago. I don't know how true it is. You know how wrestling and rumors are. That before they decided to have Yokozuna win this Royal Rumble, they were actually going to give Earthquake a huge, huge push to win the WWF title. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if any of y'all out there know anything about this rumor. It could be bogus. You know how the internet is. But this has just been my review for Royal Rumble 93. Like I said, I gave it 8 stars out of 10. I just thought the Royal Rumble match itself lacked wrestlers and lacked creativity in the match. The Yokozuna will go on to win. Okay, guys. I'm about out of breath. This has been your 1993 Royal Rumble review. I'll be back next week with 1994. It's been forever since I've seen 94. So, I can't remember if it was good or not, but I'll let you know. Peace.